Hey, I'm Josh. I'm the Office of Sustainability intern for the Waterbury campus, and this is my nature documentary. I definitely live in a suburban neighborhood, I would say. It's a very obvious mix of human-made infrastructure and natural environmental elements. You have lots of very tree-heavy areas with ponds and rivers, and then right next to that you're going to have a single house with trees surrounding it, and you can see all the squirrels and the chipmunks and the birds chirping. And I appreciate the blend of nature and infrastructure that my town and neighborhood has to offer. I absolutely love taking walks in my neighborhood. Walks through the natural elements of my neighborhood help me feel calmer, helps clear my mind, ease any stress or anxiety that I have, and helps me feel grounded with the natural world that's around me and that I'm living in as well. Take a step back, you listen to the birds chirping, you see everything changing naturally around you. I've been walking around my neighborhood ever since I was a little kid, and it just makes me feel good. I live right next to the Quinnipiac River, so having that watershed area around my house is actually really awesome to walk right next to constantly. Some of the local wildlife that I see around the river areas are like deer, herons, ducks. I love seeing just the variety that you don't normally see just going from your house, the car, and commuting every day. Just taking a second to appreciate the nature locally, like right outside of your living spaces, is genuinely really important. And my town's high school actually has a greenhouse going as well that I pass by on my walks all the time. So it's really cool to see how sustainability is being promoted on a local level and an educational level as well. Literally hands-on activities promoting sustainability. I love that. Puts a smile on my face. As I take my walk, I unfortunately do see something that I need to bring attention to. Litter. Lots and lots of trash and litter. And yeah, I know a lot of the time people tell you that littering is bad, but they don't really tell you why. They don't give you the specifics beyond just being an inconvenience or just looking bad, but genuinely it's much more than just that. If any local wildlife consumes this litter, it can cause extremely harmful effects to their bodies, potentially deadly effects if ingested. Depending on the type of litter, it can also cause entanglement, which can lead to suffocation and death. Another big part of harming the local wildlife is habitat disruption and destruction. Furthermore, litter can also contaminate and pollute our waterways. Just picture this for a second. You're driving, you throw a plastic cup out the window, it's raining and windy outside. It can wash that plastic cup into our rivers and streams and contaminate any path that it leads to, enabling microplastics to leach into the water, which can also poison our oceans, reservoirs, and basins as well. So not only can the Earth's wildlife and water systems be contaminated by the toxic chemicals and microplastics caused by the litter that you just aimlessly throw out your window, but it also encourages more littering. Watching people litter or seeing litter on the ground around you enables people to also litter because they think it's an accepted, allowable activity to do. So overall, if you see litter, just please pick it up and please be mindful of how you dispose of your trash as well. As somebody who loves taking walks in his local neighborhoods and appreciating the natural beauty of this a wonderful planet around him, seeing so much litter around me is just genuinely disturbing and discouraging to my mind space as I'm taking my walks. The natural places in my neighborhood aren't just scenery to me, they are much more than that. They're places where I feel connected and grounded and actually reminded every single day that humans and nature are required to and supposed to coexist responsibly together. So, what are some small sustainable tasks that you could do in your own local neighborhoods? The big most common ones that people normally practice are recycling or composting. I've already heavily emphasized picking up litter and mindfully disposing of your trash, but also picking up after your pets as well to avoid bacteria leaching into wildlife habitats as well and our water systems. Getting into the habit of using reusable items such as cutlery, metal water bottles, and reusable bags at the grocery store. And finally, just walking or biking more as well to reduce the CO2 being emitted into the atmosphere from all these cars. Obviously, I'm not saying give up a 40-minute drive across the state, but if you're going for ice cream that's like a 2-minute walk down the street, give up the car for that one.
So now, let's head to the beach. Personally, I've been going to the beach ever since I was a little kid. My parents have always been huge beach people, so it's become one of those places that feels like home to me, and it's so familiar to me even though so much time has passed. The beach is a constantly changing environment shaped by the wind, the waves, the tides, and the weather. It's home to wide stretches of sand, rolling dunes, the ocean, open skies. And the wildlife there is very different than what you can find in your local neighborhood unless you live by the shore. You have seagulls in the air, you have fish in the water, and then you also have ghost crabs in the land, which are personally my favorite. They blend almost perfectly into the sand and even change shades depending on the time of the day. Every visit to the beach gives me a chance to personally just slow down and take it easy. It just immediately makes me feel calmer, like hearing the sounds of the waves, feeling the cool ocean breeze, and then just the openness of the landscapes really just immediately makes me feel better. Clears my mind, it lowers the mental load from everyday life, and it just helps me reset. It's also one of my favorite places to stay active. Whether I'm swimming in the ocean or playing football with my family on the sand, spending time at the beach just helps me feel more natural with my exercise instead of making it feel like a chore. Like I'm staying active while also having fun at the same time. And I definitely appreciate all the vitamin D I'm soaking in from the sun. One of my favorite things about going to the beach is that the landscape is just so different every time I go. It's never the same 2 times that I go. The waves constantly reshape the shoreline, moving around the sand, creating new patterns, and reminding me that nature is just always changing. The sand dunes in the back of the beach also play an important role. They're more than just like piles of sand in the back. They actually help protect the coastline from erosion, they provide habitats for the wildlife, and they act as natural barriers for the land during storms. So make sure to stay off those dunes and preserve their privacy, please. Whenever I can, I'll pick up litter I come across and recycle anything recyclable from the beach. Keeping the beaches clean is more than just appearance-based. Things like plastic, fishing line, or other waste can injure or kill the wildlife. It can also wash into the ocean and break down into microplastics and contaminating the entire marine ecosystem in the ocean. Another issue many people don't really think about is wildfire risk. Even at the beach, fires can start from discarded cigarette butts, a lot of people smoke at the beach, unattended bonfires, improperly disposed charcoal from grills, or even fireworks as well if you're having a 4th of July party at the beach. The area in the beach grass and dunes are so dry that the fires can quickly spread, and all the vegetation that holds the sand in place and wildlife habitats can be really damaged as well. Preventing these fires is actually really simple. If you're hosting a bonfire, completely extinguish the fire before you're leaving the beach. Dispose of cigarettes properly, not just tossing them out into the grass. Make sure to follow local fire regulations, and avoid any activities that increase fire risk during dry conditions, such as running around with sparklers near all the dry grass and vegetation. Protecting the beach is simply just making responsible choices while you're there and before you leave. It's not that big of a deal. So, what small sustainable actions can beach visitors take? Pick up litter, even if it isn't yours. Recycle bottles, cans, and other recyclable materials. Respect the sand dunes and make sure to stay on designated walking paths in order to avoid damaging fragile vegetation. Be mindful of flammable objects and materials. Don't disturb the wildlife. Don't go chasing the seagulls. Don't disrupt their peace. Just give them plenty of space. Make sure to bring reusable water bottles and containers to reduce single-use plastic waste. The beach is where I relax. I love it. I connect with family, and I just appreciate the natural beauty of the beach and the shoreline and how powerful and constantly changing nature can be. Taking care of places like this helps ensure that they'll remain just as meaningful, not just for me, but for everyone else who visits the beach and appreciates it for all that it is. Finally, let's head up to the mountains. Here you can find steep peaks, rocky cliffs, dense forests, waterfalls, and winding hiking trails. It's an environment shaped over millions of years of geological forces, weather, glaciers, and erosion. It's home to very diverse wildlife such as black bears, moose, white-tailed deer, foxes, eagles, and many species of birds, along with forests made up of maple, birch, spruce, and fir trees. I've always enjoyed spending time in the mountains myself. I've been driving up here since I was a little kid, too. Whether I'm hiking to a scenic overlook, exploring winding rivers, or driving through the forests, being surrounded by mountains gives me a sense of calm that's hard to find anywhere else. One of the things I notice most is how peaceful everything feels. You get away from all the busy roads and all your everyday distractions, and it's easier just to slow down and appreciate the sounds of nature. You get to hear the wind rustling through the trees, the birds chirping, and the streams flowing over all the rocks. And when I'm up here, I'm almost glad there's barely any cell service, so I could just sit back, relax, and enjoy what's right in front of me. Hiking. I spend a lot of time hiking up in the mountains as well. It gives me a chance to stay active while experiencing all this incredible scenery as well. One of the most fascinating things about mountainous environments is how much they change with elevation. As you climb higher, as you hike higher, the temperatures become way cooler, all the forests gradually change, and different plants and animals begin to appear as well. Some species can only survive in these higher, cooler conditions, such as red spruce trees and lynx, making these mountainous ecosystems especially diverse overall. The mountains are also a very important source of fresh water. The rain and snow collect at higher elevations on top of the mountains before flowing into streams and rivers that supply clean water to surrounding communities and support countless ecosystems downstream. Protecting mountain environments means reducing the impact we leave behind as well. Whether you're camping in a tent or staying in an RV site, always clean up after your campsite and dispose of all trash properly so that these natural areas remain clean for the environment's sake and also enjoyable for future visitors. Staying on marked trails while walking or hiking is absolutely crucial to help prevent soil erosion, protect fragile vegetation, and reduce damage to wildlife habitats as well. One of the many things that makes the mountains special is their natural peaceful quiet. Excessive noise can disrupt wildlife and reduce the peaceful experience that many visitors come to enjoy. So keeping noise to a minimum helps preserve the environment for both animals and people to enjoy. What are some small sustainable actions that mountain visitors can take? As I said earlier, stay on the designated hiking trails, pack out everything you bring in, including trash, respect wildlife by observing from a safe distance, avoid picking wildflowers or damaging any plants nearby, follow local fire regulations and completely extinguish campfires when you're camping, and bring reusable water bottles and food containers to reduce waste as much as possible. The mountains are another one of my favorite places to disconnect from everyday life and reconnect with nature. My family always brought me here when I was younger, so besides how the environment currently makes me feel, nostalgia really hits home here too. Taking care of these landscapes helps protect forests, wildlife, clean water, and the hiking trails that allow people to enjoy them for generations to come.